Okay, recap for Friday the 24th of October 2025. Well, let's first clean up the charts, right? So it was a classic Wednesday low of the week profile where Monday goes up, Tuesday consolidates, Wednesday goes down, Thursday start going higher, and Friday goes higher. Already identified this basically on Tuesday, so I expected this. And on regular trading hours, you'll know that Monday leaves the gap and doesn't open. This is how this week normally starts. Okay, so the reason that we had to come back down is because we left a bunch of sell side liquidity, and so I marked all of that out. And once the week is done, now I'm not bothered with it. So let's get rid of these PD arrays, get this liquidity, and we can see we delivered to like beyond Monday low right here, and then to the PM liquidity and launch liquidity on that Friday. So once the market is here, I'm pretty sure delivering to there is way more than enough. It doesn't have to come all the way back down, unless this day there was like news like FOMC or something like that, that it could come back down so much and come back up, right? Otherwise it wouldn't make sense, because ultimately the target was all-time highs and everybody knew the target was all-time highs for this week, but the market will keep engineering that liquidity. You know what I'm saying? Keep engineering. Even if I extend it to here, I'm pretty sure only CPI takes it, right? So look at that perfect resistance, guys. Whatever, you know, at this point we all know like CPI is gonna go up, right? So now we know the market direction, so let's clean up the charts even more now. So we already know we went down, taking liquidity, I've taken liquidity. So let's not get rid of that yet, so we can gather the whole week liquidity. And below here, this was discount, and below, like from this high to that low, this area was discount, so we had to reach discount first. Let me get it a bit more accurately. Discount, liquidity, and I cannot find the PD array, so let's hope ICT can show us if there is a PD array there, but I cannot find my daily PD array that I care about. Basically, I expect it to go slightly lower than hit the rejection block, which is right here. Then I would have counted this as generally the low of the week, unexpected low prices. Anyway, now, so that's discount. This was the daily wick CE, which I expected for it to be the low of the day here. However, I just did not mark this, which would be these dashed lines is a long ass wick that we have on this day. So this low becomes like the opening price, the change in state, the delivery, or the order block, basically opening price, and the low of the wick, right? And which becomes the low of the day for Thursday, which we expand from. So now we know that we can get rid of what took us down. This is a 4-hour gap with also the wick, right? That has another wick, right? So let me get to the daily, right? So I can explain this better, right? So it's the fair value gap midpoint with the thingy volume imbalance, and the upper quadrant of the wick within the 4-hour Cibi, right? So all of this, which made me take my turtle soup entry, like literally candle was bold green going up, I shorted, and I got the high OTE and then went down. So now we know this will be used later on as support. You can see it here as a breakup. However, we go here down to the Reaper. All of this is extra stuff you don't really need to. Anyway, so we get rid of this now. We can get rid of this. We can get rid of that wick. And now, as we can see, let me get rid of that daily fair value gap now. We don't need it. And now, as we can see the price going from the bottom to the high of the wick. And now, after leaving this, right, fair value gap, right, within the wick right here, high probability, comes to it and goes up and then leaves the range. Now we left the range. This was discount for this day, so it does not matter. And that was our main inverse fair value gap within the quadrant. And what time do we use it? 9:31. time. So that's your entry, even though it's very early into the market, but because accumulation, manipulation at London, distribution for New York and PM session. So accumulation, manipulation, distribution, continuation, and then we stop there. Okay. So now, what do you say? What kind of lines do we have left? Right. So this is a 4-hour rejection block, and let me just double check it. Yep, 4-hour rejection block, which in terms of this rejection block, if we extend it and we also extend the change in state at delivery right here, and it was this seems like a daily wick, right? The change in state delivery right here as well, right? You'll have the wick of it. So this wick midpoint, and on top of that, right, news goes to an obvious 15-minute fair value gap. I noticed this. Obvious 15-minute fair value gap that has not been touched, and I normally filter it down. So what do we have? We have volume imbalance. This is suspension block on the 15-minute fair value gap, whatever you want to call it. Highlight it. I filter it down all the way to the 1 minute, right? I don't extend it beyond the 15 gap, and there I have my high probability area where price could go down. I don't trade it, but do trade it on like paper trading, and if I'm bothered, I normally get a very relative high accuracy. This is something I noticed in like my first 2 months of trading, and I kind of been doing it since, just for like the fun of it, just to see like where price could go. However, it just tells you where the low of the day will be. So like I would know if price came down and offered me a buy around here, that I'd buy it knowing that my stop loss could go beyond here and it'll be safely done, as long as this makes sense. And on top of that, we need to know if it's next to our opening prices. So I didn't check that. So now we have these 2 lines. Let's get rid of it because we only need the midpoint. So we can see we hit. Look at that change in state at delivery. Come on, bro. Change in state in delivery, and like, I don't know if there's something called inversion rejection block, whatever, buddy. But I know the change in state delivery tells you what the hell is gonna go for the next week. We have changed now, and we're actually gonna have bullish price action throughout the next week. And let me show you what we need. We need our opening prices. So they're down here, so we don't care about them now because that's not next to the liquidity. We had this run up, which is jagged running up, and then lastly we even took liquidity here, and this is the final run where we don't take liquidity. See, liquidity was here, then we take it there. That's why we didn't have like a deep drop. We already done the damage by having Wednesday as our manipulation, right? And then we come back and like think of okay this week is like, it's very fractal, right? Look at this price action, right? So we come up and we accumulate. Okay, we come up. Alright, that's ending our whatever. Now we start the actual market here on Tuesday, which is accumulation, right? Up to like here or whatever. Let's just hold up, and then manipulation. Okay, so let's get that here, and then after that distribution. Okay, you see, so this is the weekly profile. That's why Wednesday is the low of the week. We accumulate for 1 day, we manipulate for 1 day, and we distribute for 2 days. Okay, it's exactly the same as like when you take it down to like some days in this week. So for example, let's get just to Thursday, right? And here in market closure and like whatever, once we get into the range, what does Asia do? Asia goes up right? Just like here. Then we have accumulation, right? With its own little manipulation right there. Just like here, accumulation with its own little manipulation, which was done early, right? So here, we don't do it. Unlike here, we actually come and do it. However, I don't know if there's SMT or whatever. There probably is. Does not matter. Whatever. It doesn't need to have its own manipulation. We need to just understand the full leg, right? So this whole leg is accumulation, and then we have a longer, but still the same manipulation, right? So see, this first come up with a whatever, right? We start in the price action, accumulation, manipulation, and then what do we have here? The distribution until we close. There's this price action right there, which takes one session Asia, London, and then 2 sessions, which is New York AM and New York PM, to deliver higher, right? If you look at it this way, this is exactly what the week is. Like, you can see the same thing. It took 1 day, 1 session to accumulate, 1 day, 1 session to manipulate, 1 day, 2 days, 2 sessions to distribute, right? It's the same thing, right? It happens in many different forms, whatever, but like normally if this the weeks normally like act the same. No, it's like in the higher time frame as they do in the lower time frame for some reason. I don't know, it's something I noticed. So like if I can catch this, I know like one day we'll have something like this, and even in lower sub time frames, I'll see this exact same thing. So I'm not saying next week is gonna be like the same thing, but next week will have its own like way of delivering price, but it will still revolve around some sort of accumulation, manipulation, distribution, right? So this is just how the market tends to move, right? So once whatever it does this, then you want to look for the accumulation, right? It's basically the same as this, right? In its own little pre-market section, accumulation, then the little manipulation, and then the distribution, right? It's exaggerated by news, but it's the exact same thing, right? So anyway, that's explaining the market for this week. So let's just stop drawing too many boxes that I didn't even intend to yap about, and let's get back to what I want. Opening prices, that one's too low, so let's look at midnight opening price right here. Okay, that is too low as well, but it was used here and offered discounts, so London made the low of the day, right? So again, let me just double check with ES if any models was here. That's interesting that ES made it all relative. I'm guessing it had the same exact low. When ES makes the exact same low, counter is taken. So yeah, for now, that's for what noise with ES. Anyway, oh, did I trade? No. Honestly, when I think I was sleeping, and then I woke up at like 9, and once I seen that the market, okay, so CPI could have done 4 things. Alright, so listen to this if anybody's watching, but this is for me mainly as a reminder for later on. CPI acts in 4 ways. Okay, 1, high up close candle that will make a fair value gap. 2, down close candle that will make a fair value gap. And then 3, high wick and then close. 4, down wick, right? So when it's a wick, do not expect price. What okay, for example, let's say it wicks down and it's a wick, right? So like this wick, it wicks down and it closes, but like it doesn't like really create a fair value gap. It's really just a big wick either side type here, right? That in itself is the manipulation. That will be the manipulation, and we'll never come back to it. And you'd want 930 to be like coming near it or whatever, and then you'll take a buy from there. Second, right, and that's for bullish price action. Second way for bullish price action is exactly like this, a big fair value gap. However, you want it, if you were ever going to trade it and it needs to really go higher, it needs to come back all the way down to the change in state of delivery, and that will normally be in the form of an order block, right? So either here or to that high right there that has buy side liquidity, you'll notice it'll come and touch it, right? Or come near it, or there'll be stuff down here that'll go to it, but it'll never come to the low again, right? So that is the second way to trade it. Then it comes here, there's the change in state delivery, then you can buy it all the way back to the highs of it. Okay, that's the second way to trade it, and that's the only two options for buys. Just do the reverse for sells. Okay, so now I know that when I woke up at like 9 or something, right, and I've seen like what news done, if it went lower, which it has no reason to do because we have already completed the manipulation. It did the mini one, right? I was like, you know what, if they want to manipulate more, I will buy for sure because this is target. However, what they do is everybody has like stop losses above this high for like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, they're trying to pick the top, and they also have it much higher in case like, oh, but like this area is resistance. Today they said, nah, fuck all of that. Boom, right? They killed everybody. Everybody that was shorting, because nobody's having a stop loss up here. Everybody that had a stop loss expecting, okay, CPI news is gonna crash us down. We're next to support, I mean resistance or whatever they want to call it. Crashes down. They got deleted out the market. Bye bye. Okay, so what does that mean? That means the weekly objective has been accomplished, right? Like for this week, the weekly objective since Tuesday is getting to all-time high. However, because that's the only weekly objective, we had to fake it, come back down, and then go for it to allow news to get into it. And what does that mean? That means we're done, right? Like at 8:30, we are done for the week. So why the hell would I trade? That's the thing. Me before, well, every day there is gotta be a trade type shit. You know what I'm saying? I try to find a way to get a trade. And look at the market, right? 9:30, we go down to discount. I'm guessing, yeah, that looks like discount to me. At the range, yes. And then we go up, pump up, take the high, come down, consolidate, come down, make relative equal lows. That'll probably take when the market opens, because we're making a market maker buy model by the looks of it. Another sell side liquidity. We're taking final hour macro, I'm guessing. Yeah, so like that, there's one trade final hour macro, I'm guessing here. Yep, 315 right there. Boom. That starts this macro. That will just jump to the 330.45, right? So right here, go up there. This breaker block displacement, right? Like, and then we're approaching the 345. Whatever we're still in the macro this whole time is the final hour macro. My one trade, boom, breaker block. I mean, it is the lowest down close candle within the fair value gap, right? Order block, that is boom, propulsion, and another order block goes into it straight in. Where's the market closing? Below the CE. Where's the liquidity? Right here, right here, right here. Relative equal lows. And yeah, you sell. Stop loss above this high. Normally enter just around like lower quadrant to the midpoint. I would not risk that much on a trade like this, even though if I'm confident. And you can see it's 1k. Okay, it's a good trade, but honestly, if like, how would I know I trade final hour macro today, right? I wouldn't. So I mean, to be fair, I would, because if the whole day's consolidating, final hour macro is gonna go somewhere. However, it don't matter. Like, just take the break, bro. Like, hello, there's nothing to trade all over here. Was I gonna watch the market? I bet like if I was really watching the market and trying to trade, like okay, maybe there's a lunch macro, maybe there's a final hour macro, maybe there's this or that, then I'll find a way to get in the market. And trust me, anybody that found a way to go into the market got wrecked. Anybody that found a way to go into this market got wrecked. Surely. Or like it's not high probability, nothing significant. This is the only trade, and the risk, okay, makes sense. However, it's just not worth it. Simple as that. And for me to even enter this, I would need SMT on these highs. So yeah, we do get it. So gotta go short up there. But so that's a good high probability trade. I can't lie. However, I'm not waiting for all of that, because would I wait the whole market just to trade this? I don't think my patience. I know myself, and my patience ain't there. So I will not. I would have found a way to get something here and here, and would have wrecked myself. So that's the advantages of knowing yourself and knowing when not to trade. However, though, this gives me the idea of, yo, if we reach the objective, come back at the final hour macro and see if you can catch something. You know what I'm saying? Is there anything wrong with that? No, clearly based on evidence that I'm seeing, because it's not the first time that I was like, you know what, I'm done. But then I see something at the final hour macro, and only at the final hour macro, right? So everybody that's got wrecked, everybody that's trying to buy it, it'll be an obvious final hour macro trade, right? And honestly, only look from 315. So how long would I have been waiting for this trade? I would have entered near the highs, by the way. I would not even enter this. This is an addition entry, right? After that SMT, this order block, right? Change in state delivery. I'm right there. I'm inside. I'm already in that trade. Same risk parameters. Yeah, so I would have only waited 15 minutes, more or less. So easy trade. And yeah, that's honestly the market recap. I actually like this week because it's not a week that I've done, I'd say, well, right? Like, because for example, on Wednesday I didn't trade this. I traded gold and had a banger trade, like literally top tick that shit. On Thursday I top ticked London here and then got out here, but didn't get this move. But because my rules, I made enough, that's it. So, and Tuesday, what did I do on Tuesday? Did I lose? Yeah, I took a loss on Tuesday. How did I take a loss on Tuesday? That don't make any sense. Let me double check this. Ew, I lost on Tuesday. How? I knew the direction. I remember I even entered properly. How did I lose on Tuesday? Where's 9:30? Okay. I enter. I think it goes back on me. I think I was in a profitable trade. Because there's no way. I knew Tuesday was short. And 9:30 goes all the way up, right? Yes, I was literally in a short right here. Oh, I remember I shorted this. Look at that precision. 850 I trade, boom, short. And I try to take it all the way down. And then my target was literally here. Slightly lower than this, but like, and then it comes back all the way on me, and then I push my stop loss too low because I was like, I don't like this. And then it goes down and delivers, and then I'm like, oh shit. And I think I remember trying to enter the short here again, which is ridiculously chasing price. And then once eventually I got the loss, I just got out and stopped trading. So that explains why the loss. I mean, I know I should have longed it after, but hey, that's already over trading. Me entering the short again, it was just like my sign to stop, because that could have maybe started me, like, I don't know, revenge trading or something. So I guess that's why I took a loss on Tuesday. But other than that, it's just winning days really. Monday I took literally this long. I took this long right here at 750. Bro, this was an easy long, bro, and I was trying to do it. I mean, I did it on a combine because I don't really trade Mondays, but like, it was too obvious. way too obvious. And then, you know, it's up 1.5k. I come back the next day and like Top Step is like, nah, our stuff was down. Bro, I already traded before and had my TPs set before like your system went down. It's ridiculous, right? So they just took 1.5k away from me. That was basically what I had to make again on the following days, which is well, it doesn't help that I lost on Tuesday, but I was made on Wednesday and Thursday. Okay, the well, the gist of this is my entries are getting clearly significantly better, like way better. Especially the last week. On this week, I caught this short, this short, this short, this short. Right. Look at the. All I'm saying, I cooked. Right. All I'm saying, I cooked. Right. On these days, I'm telling you, bearish markets, I'm the goat. But we're not in bearish markets, so I enjoyed my best week. So yeah. Anyway, let's get back to what this means. I can see my entries are getting so much better. Now it's time for me to build confidence to risk normal risk on my like actual XFAs, right? I need to actually build normal risk. However, I'm cool with taking it slow, nice and steady while I'm building. I'm like at this point I'm adding one XFA a week to the roster, right? So let's hope next week I can add. Well, this week I would have had it added already. I just got 1.5k taken away from me, so like that kind of slowed me down by a week. So I'm hoping it's not far that next week and then add one more XFA to the roster, and then potentially get a decent payout, so I can reinvest it into just getting. Then I'll just need two more XFAs, and then that will be making it 5 accounts. So I'll just reinvest in that and just take like a few Ks just for whatever, right? And then after that, I want to have like just basically a preparation for November. Where in November I want to start cooking. Cooking. I'm talking like at least 15k to like I don't know. At least my minimum is in my head is 15k in payouts at least for that month. So inshallah we can do that. And then yeah. And these are not even numbers that are crazy because like I'm doing that with like 2 and 3 MNQs, right? That's how low my risk is. After that, after I can if I can secure a buyout with that, then it'll be like going back to normal risk because then I fully would not care really. And then yeah, as long as I keep my precision up like this, which was 10 out of 10 really, I can't lie. Like it's not really 10 out of 10, but I'm just liking how I'm trading recently, right? Um, I know, I know me 2 months ago would have blown my account on Tuesday or would have blown my account on Friday. 100%, right? Tuesday, I'm winning. Then I realized that I took the piss by going back to lose. So I was like, not today. And on Friday, I said, nah, I'm not even gonna bother. That's growth. That's maturity, right? That's what I needed. Now I'm taking away the factors that used to blow my account. Days like this and this, and I'm focusing on days like this and this. I mean, Monday is purely a combined day. I'm not gonna enter a Monday like this on a normal account. That's just ridiculous, right? However, I know it's a combined day, so like it doesn't matter. If I lose on a combined, bro, bro, I would double the risk because more time the next trade is winning. Like this how confident I am. But I'm not gonna do that in the XFAs. That's just ridiculous, right? So don't matter. But I've noticed there's only 2 to 3 trading days per week, right? And like genuinely 2 to 3 trading days per week, that's like high probability. Most of the time, Wednesday is one of them, right? Most of the time, Wednesday is one of them, and Wednesday would have like a high expansion, right? So this time, it didn't have 3 days, but it had definitely 3 sessions, right? So the New York AM, right? The London, and then after that, the New York AM again, because you'll know it's like the days. Why? Because whatever days there's gonna be a day of consolidation, and then after that, consolidation ish kinda, and then after that will be the manipulation. After that will be the distribution, right? So, for example, this week it does not follow that because it was a full on, I wouldn't say consolidation, I'd say it's seek and destroy, or like time distortion, right? We were just waiting because I think we already done the manipulation. Like this whole week pretend is like manipulation, right? And now we started distribution, and I'm expecting continuation the next week for another set of distribution. So that's why I'm trying to make sure I catch that. Okay, so I'm trying to make sure next week is good, so we in good. What this week was, I wouldn't count it as starting the manipulation because it was the ending. Seek and destroy Friday, right? So Monday we go up, Monday up here, Tuesday down, Wednesday up, Thursday down, and Friday goes up to go down. Okay, Seek and destroy Friday. So every week has its own profile, but now that we know we have done this, which is considered consolidation, then manipulation with time distortion, then first stage of our distribution, right? You can see we're gonna have the distribution of legs go up, go down, and now I'm at least expecting from the second that we start manipulation, which is London at this day, we know where the target is, right? Come on, it's the 2 to 2.5. Very true. This is what I expect next week to be. So I'm gonna just have these lines and wait until we reach 2 to 2.5. I'm long, right? So nobody should be looking for shorts. And on top of that, make sure you use the opening range gap for today, even though I have not used a single opening range gap for the previous week. I was just looking at it. This week do use it, right? So I'll make sure I do it in the 1 minute. So double check the thing. So these are my PD arrays, right? Because when we're at all-time high, we lack PD arrays. That's why daily you're gonna have to treat the 4 hour as a daily as well, right? Because we're at all-time high, we have a lack of PD arrays, so the market tends to start using these. So we have the open and the close. Let me just make sure it's the close. Is the open and the close the same thing? It is, but it should not matter. Alright, and then we're gonna have our quadrants, and yes, there we go. So I'll actually have the full thing to make sure it's all there, and it's very faint. However, the market is gonna be using these figures throughout, well, at least one day next week. Which what does this look like, right? If we're very bullish now, I already have an idea of what the next day could do if it's Monday, for example, or if we're gonna not consolidate much longer. So look at this: discount, liquidity, and guess what? PD array. That will be a buying, and I'll show you that. That's just one of the models for the all-time high. It's gonna go there. I'll buy. However, the only problem, this is not a good PD. It's not good liquidity. I would love or Asia or something to make another sell side relative to these around here, because then, and you will see, I'm betting the market was trying to go down already. Yeah, see, when it went down here, it didn't stop. Look, creating a 15-minute for value gap, and it'll go down. So it just saying there is potential for this, right? Especially these upper two to be used next week. These might get a bit too low, but these upper two might be for sure used throughout like the first few days, right? Until we do our manipulation so we can start distributing, right? So yeah, that's the market recap. This is my expectations for really next week is 25 1 I mean 26 136, and then we can head into consolidation for the first week or yeah, the first week of November we can expect a bit of a consolidation. So yeah, that's what I'm expecting. Pretty sure there's a good market recap, right? I've covered a lot, and should set good expectations. And inshallah, next week I'ma kill it. Right? I'ma kill it in these markets, bro. I'm gonna be a whole different beast. Anyway, peace out.